This is Daniel, a new slave, on his way to the city of Babylon. He could have been forgotten, another exile swallowed up by history. But instead, he became one of the most influential prophets and prime ministers the world has ever known. Kings came and went, kingdoms rose and fell, but Daniel remained. Few people realize just how much Daniel's prophecies still shape the world we live in today. His visions accurately predicted the rise and fall of global empires and even gave a timeline for the last days. Daniel's prophecies don't just tell us what's coming, they tell us when. In this video, we'll see how Daniel's revelations unlock the mysteries of the book of Revelations and uncover what they mean for us right now. I am Ivan and you're watching Market Seers. Like and subscribe. Daniel received revelation about the kingdoms that had an impact on Israel from his time up to the last days. Even Jesus taught from Daniel's prophecies when he quoted the abomination of desolation that will come during the last great tribulation. The first kingdoms to be revealed were in King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the colorful man, Daniel's dream of 4 beasts, and Daniel's dream of the ram and goat. These were the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and the Roman Empire. The Babylonian Empire is the man's golden head and the lion with eagle wings. The Medo-Persian Empire is the man's silver chest and arms, the bear and the ram. The Greek Empire is the man's bronze belly and thighs, the leopard and the goat. The Roman Empire is the man's legs of iron and the indescribable beast. The world today is the man's feet of iron and clay and the horns on the indescribable beast's head. Out of the Roman Empire will arise 10 horns. These are 10 kingdoms. These 10 horns are the same as the 10 toes on the feet of clay, mixed with iron in Nebuchadnezzar's dream. These 10 kings shall be partly strong like iron and partly weak like clay, which talks about democracy. All the empires before these 10 kings were monarchies. Even the senators of Rome answered to the monarch. Daniel prophesied that the second coming of Christ will be during the time of these democratic kingdoms. Christ's kingdom on this earth, in the new millennium, and in the new earth, the kingdom with no end, is represented by the stone that was cut without hands, hitting the feet of iron mixed with clay and destroying the whole statue. Daniel was informed by Angel Gabriel that another ruler shall rise after those 10 democracies have arisen. He will be different from the original 10 kings. He will conquer 3 of the 10 kings. This means one powerful country will go into war with 3 other powerful democratic countries at the same time and defeat all of them. After that, the mouth and eyes of this new kingdom shall speak pompous words against the Most High, persecute the saints of the Most High, and try to change times and laws. The horn that destroyed 3 horns is a country. The eyes and mouth of the last horn are the Antichrist. One of those periods of persecution will last for a time, times, and half a time. In the book of Daniel, 1 time means 1 year. Therefore, the last persecution of the saints will last for 3.5 years. Daniel's prophecies continue with the king of the north, i.e. Syria, and the king of the south, i.e. Egypt. These were already fulfilled by the troubles between Syria and Egypt that came before the 10 toes. Many of Daniel's prophecies have both a historical fulfillment and a future prophetic fulfillment. To understand this better, think how a caterpillar uses only half of its DNA when it is a caterpillar, and the other half of the DNA becomes active when it is a butterfly. One example of this is with the shadows of Antichrist and shadows of abomination that come before the real Antichrist and the real abomination. Antiochus Epiphanes around 170 BC polluted the altar in the temple by offering a cow, then forbidding daily sacrifices. You can find this story in 1 Maccabees, and that is why Jesus continued prophesying about another Antichrist and another abomination of desolation. Another example is the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. This is also another shadow of the abomination of desolation because the world did not end after Jerusalem was destroyed. After the real desolation of abomination, the world ends and the new millennium begins. Babylon turned to modern Iraq, Persia turned to modern Iran, and ancient Syria turned to modern Syria. They continue affecting Israel in the end times together with the 10 new democratic countries and the 11th country that came after the 10. The old Roman Empire covered Europe, Israel and all its neighbours, the Middle East, Iran, Iraq and North Africa. This is more than 45 countries. Since the old Roman Empire fell, many European and Arab colonial empires have arisen out of this region. Today they have reduced in size from empires to just countries. The last empire to arise out of this region is the Soviet Union, which has reduced in size to one country, Russia. Therefore, Russia will go to war with 3 other countries from that group at the same time and defeat all of them. This has not happened yet. If NATO gets roped into the Ukraine war, or Russia gets roped into the Israeli conflicts, we shall see. The 10 most powerful are in the EU or have a lot of oil. By the time the dust from all the wars has settled, the Antichrist will be controlling all or most of these countries behind the scenes. I expect the Antichrist to be someone in political circles going around negotiating peace so as to gain power. He might look like a young rising star, exactly how the Israelis are still waiting for a political messiah to look like. Christian persecution will increase after he gains that power. A third example of shadows and the main event is this one. Daniel prayed about the 70-year prophecy of Jeremiah about the destruction and rebuilding of Jerusalem and the temple. The Temple of Jerusalem was destroyed around 586 BC and rebuilt and consecrated around 516 BC. That was the shadow fulfillment pointing to the main event. Angel Gabriel revealed that the 70 years of Jeremiah refer to 70 weeks of 7 years each. 490 years. Those 490 years are not concurrent. Some have already passed, some are yet to come. There is a period of 62 weeks that ends when Jesus died and rose. There is another period of 7 weeks. Inside those 7 weeks, the last week is very significant. That is the 7-year period when the Antichrist is most active, so it can only be at the very end of the end times, commonly known as the last Great Tribulation. In the middle of that last week of 7 years, the Antichrist will bring an apocalypse called the Abomination of Desolation. This apocalypse will make both the environment and the people desolate. The last Great Tribulation lasts 7 years divided in 2 periods of 3.5 years. You can now see the harmony of Daniel's time, times, and half a time, and John's 1,260 days. These are the length of the last period when Christians will be persecuted. Once you understand this, you understand that the whole of Revelations chapter 6 to chapter 14 is talking about the first 3.5 years of the tribulation. You understand that the whole of Revelations chapter 15 to chapter 19 is talking about the last 3.5 years of the tribulation. You understand that in that second half, there are no more Gentile Christians left to persecute. All the Gentile Christians have either been ruptured or martyred. The only people left will be the last group of Jewish Christians who will become Christians through the ministry of the 2 witnesses and the 144,000. They will flee to the mountains like Jesus said, and will be protected in the lands of Edom, Moab, and Ammon. The other people left are the abominably desolate people living in an abominably desolate world. The prophecies of Daniel help us draw a map of the book of Revelations. I believe the rapture happens before the tribulation. If you believe differently, just place the rapture either in the middle of the Great Tribulation or at the end of the Great Tribulation. If you believe another different order of events, the information in the rows stays the same. Only the position of the row may change. I hope the sequences I have described in this video make the book of Revelations clearer for you. Humans make the door first, then they make the key for the door. In the case of Daniel and John's prophecies, it looks like God made the key first, then he made the door that the key opens.